Before we begin today's episode, we want to share a brief content advisory. In our discussion of Bloody Black with Rhiannon Hargadon, we will be exploring mature themes, including detailed discussions of sexual assault, referring to it as SA through the episode, trauma, emotional journey of survival. We believe these stories are vital to tell, but we recognize that it can be difficult to hear. If these topics are heavy for you today, please feel free to skip this episode or listen when you're in a headspace to do so. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next chapter. Hey, book babes, welcome back to Two Girls, One TBR, your chaotic book besties here to wreck your reading list, one morally gray man at a time.
I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Heather.
So, hey guys, I've made this now that this is our little cozy corner first at the beginning, since we like to talk. So what have you guys been doing? I got my reading list down to
Hobbies.
324 books. Oh, look at that.
Flirting.
That is so cute. Chelsea, have you ever did cross stitch or anything like that?
No, and maybe I should add it to the list of things that I try to do.
Yeah, I know. That's how I felt. I'm like, oh, I've always, that looks really cool. I'm going to try that.
Well, you could be like me and be working on a lap quilt for, it has to be 19. It has to be. Because I told you, my husband and I will be together 17 years, and I know I was doing this before I met him.
Yeah, but a quilt? I mean, that's a big surface. This is a little tiny circle thing.
I love that you're documenting it though, Heather, because I liked your video where you're saying I don't know if I'm just not if I don't know yet, but it is hard. It's a lot harder than it looks.
Actually, I'm trying to do the eye right now, and it's so tiny. It's so hard to get in there and do the whipping. The stitching's fine. It's the whip stitch that gets a little difficult on those smaller places. So
see, you're learning all kinds of things.
It's harder to do embroidery than it is to even do just regular cross stitch. Cross stitch, you're just making X's.
Right.
But when I'm working on the pillowcases that I've been working on for a very long time, there's the cross stitch part, and then you outline it, which you're doing, and then there's embroidery where it's the part where it looks more smooth. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's kind of like humped up, raised. That's that. Are you going to hang it up on your wall when you're all done?
What I'm going to do with it? I joined a embroidery group, where the girls have their little sweatshirts that they stitch charms or sayings onto it with every book of the year that they're doing or have read. And so maybe I'll make it into a patch and put it on a sweater sleeve or something, and then maybe do a few other ones. The girl that owns the Stitch Fairy studio is in the same book club as us, or me, called Mojo Dojo Book Club. And we have I think Rhiannon's on there actually. We'll be talking with her on there, and asking her questions after her read. And so she'll probably have one. I'll probably get to do a Bloody Black one, because Rachel, who owns this, is doing a Between Tides and Thunder one right now. And that's the current read. So, and they have a Poison Daughter one that they did in March. So I might buy that one and do that one.
That's cool.
Yeah. Now, this is something I suggest to you. This is something I learned through my years of doing this. Once you complete it and you get it all done, you know how the back looks, with all your stitches and stuff. Now, of course, yours isn't like a pillowcase that could be washed a whole bunch of times. But one of the things I suggest, you go to the fabric store, and they have it's this silky stuff that you can buy, and you can iron it onto the back of it, and it'll just go flat on it, and then it seals your stitches.
Nice.
So that they don't come out. But but if you are going to do it as a patch, and you are going to put it on something that will be washed, that is something I suggest, because that's when I did pillowcases. That's what I do, and it keeps, and of course you'll have a million little strings. It makes it smooth.
Okay.
That's just something I learned.
That's really smart.
Yeah, my aunt taught me.
They should almost include it in their little kits. That's a good idea. You should tell them, Heather.
Yeah.
Yes, you should have.
Add more. But I mean, so she sells the kit where you could get the little goodies I was talking about, and then
little scissors. Did you see them?
Yeah, they're so cute. Oh my God. But these little things are like lifesavers. I would have never known these existed. So I'm happy she included that in the total kit. And then you could buy like the next kit you could do, you'll like where you're just buying the ring and the string and the pattern patch and stuff like that. So I won't get another tin, but I would just get the essentials next time. So, but that was really good thought because I've never done this before. So
I'm glad you've joined the adventure of embroidery. See,
yeah.
that's like, they said that like our age group and even like into your age group area that we're picking up like old lady skills.
Yeah.
And that's like our pastimes are going more into those kind of things. Embroidery, gardening,
Yeah.
those
We're
kind of
slowing
things.
down.
Yeah.
Like my 20s, I was roaring. Okay. We're out, we were partying, we were social. Now I'm introverted and I'm like ready to like sit, embroider, listen to my audiobooks.
They had a video and it said like people used to go out like out in the field and have parties and take things from people that they didn't know, and now they're nervous just to go to the grocery store with people around them.
Yeah.
I don't like being in crowds of people either, so
Yeah.
I relate
I
in that respect.
avoid Costco on the weekends because
Yeah.
it
I
is
won't go there.
always horrendously busy. So my husband's like, we need this and this. I'm like, I'm not going until Monday.
My husband, I've told you, he works for Costco, and the weekends are absolutely insane, and
Bonkers.
I won't go there. I go through the middle of the week when it's calmer. Now, I'm not saying that it's not insane and busy, but it's not like Saturday, Sunday busy.
Yeah.
Right.
That's when people lose their
Yeah.
minds in the parking lot and sit there with their turn signals on, waiting
Gosh.
for a parking spot and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I park all the way in the back. I don't park up front.
Mm.
I'm not one of those people that try
Yeah.
to get as close. I will park all the way back where the employees park, and then I don't care if I have to walk like a whole football field to my car. I'd rather than there's not people trying to hit me with their
Yeah.
car.
Yeah. Or chase after you, like stalk you while you go to the back of your car and like unload and they're watching everything that you bought, like tampons, toilet paper.
I have to say this though. When we have gone
Comedy.
to Costco, like say like I have the vehicle and I have to go pick him up. My oldest son and I, we love going there and just like having like a half hour before like we have to pick him up and just watch the people. Because people are interesting, and then what they buy and what they do and how they act around their cars. I don't know. We call it our people watching time, and it's fun.
Mhm.
See,
But
I
him
don't
and I
want to be
enjoy
that
that.
person where you're like, oh my God, what'd she buy? Why did she buy that?
And then you'll see some people will come out and like they'll have like one thing. I'm like, why did you run in there so fast? And it's just like one thing.
Yeah.
Or people I'll see like, or my husband will tell me like people will leave stuff in their carts. Like they'll load their car and they'll leave like giant things of toilet paper and paper
Because
towels
it doesn't
in the
fit.
cart and leave. Like, how do you miss those kind of things?
Okay.
Those are big.
It's like they'll leave them in the parking lot.
In the cart, and they'll put it like in the cart corral. He said it's very weird. He said
That's very weird.
purses, wallets, people will leave.
Yeah, I can see
He
that.
had one. He found an iPad. Someone had purchased an iPad. And you know how expensive
Oh,
they are. And he found it in the cart and turned it in. It was brand new.
God.
How would you leave that? That's like
That's like your purchase
$1,000.
that day. Yeah. Like that would be the first thing like tucked like so close to me in the car. Like, okay, I have this.
Mhm.
I have this with me.
Yeah.
And he said, and then people get like their desserts and pizza, like, and they haven't ate it, and they'll leave it in the cart and forget it and drive off without it too. I said, that's so weird.
That's really weird.
hmm Yeah. Costco's an interesting place. It's one of my favorite places in the world to shop. I love the Costco. Him and I have it's a different vibe. Me, I'm like, this is like the most wonderful world. And but of course it's his job, it's work. So it's a different perspective
Yeah,
than what I'm looking at. But right now
true.
they do have a lot of bushes and ferns and giant
Oh,
shrubbery right
I
now
want to
that
get
everybody's buying.
right here. I want to get like a fiddle leaf, maybe.
They have I don't know if they have it right now, but Costco did have the giant fig. Is it a fig tree? But it's silk, so you don't have to take care of it,
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was big, and it came in like a big pot. but I don't know if they have it right now. Costco has a lot of amazing stuff right now. Also, play sets, for outside, like your swing sets and stuff, and
Yeah.
sheds. A lot of people are buying that stuff, and
Yeah.
patio furniture. Their
Mm-hmm.
patio furniture right now is really pretty too.
Yeah.
Mm. So that's.
Yep.
But now since we last talked, did you guys get your TBR list down? I got mine down to 324 books.
I think I added a few more, but I've also probably like read maybe 5 of them. So
Well, that's not bad.
That's
be at the
good.
same spot, you know.
Yeah,
Now,
I
what do
think
you guys?
I'm in the same exact spot that I was, honestly.
Yeah.
And I've been listening to that Blood and Ash series still by on graphic audio.
Okay.
What's your
It's
thoughts?
good. It's good, but it's so freaking repetitive and
Yes.
fluff. Like there's so many times that they say the same thing over and over again. And if I have to like the talking about tastes and smells, I'm so over it. I'm like, I don't want to hear what anything tastes like or smells ever again.
Yeah. And like
I
the
removed it.
internal dialogue that they have, like their little monologues about each other and how they're feeling at all times, but it's very similar over and over and over. And you're
Over
like, get to
again.
the
Yes.
action.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I get how you feel about each other. I get like let's move on with the story,
almost like
please.
over informative to that point where it's like let the reader like figure it out themselves, kind of like you don't have to like overload us with all the information.
There could be a little bit of a mystery there. I don't need to know.
Yeah.
After all this, that got removed from my list.
Yeah.
I took that off my TBR.
And like when people say, "Oh, I love that series," I get it. Like I know Castile and Poppy, and like they're a cool couple. How they meet, all that stuff is really fun. But the way it's written, it's dragged out.
Like it literally, it could have been done by now. There's no reason that there's how many books are there?
4, 5? I don't know. She
Okay.
kept going, and I was like, "How?"
It might be more than 5.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And then there's like a prequel series, right? Or no?
The Flesh and Fire series, and it's similar to that where she kind of like overdoes the monologuing. It's a really cool. I like the first 2 books, I'd say, but then after the end of book 2 and you get into book 3, you're like, all right.
Yeah. I like the premise. I like the idea of it. It's just like the overall execution and the repetitiveness is just driving me. Yeah, it's driving me insane.
Yeah. It needs to be
yeah, and then I always see people talk about Daddy Nyktos, but I haven't met him yet. So, I mean, I'm hearing about him. Is he more in the prequel?
He is, yeah. He's like the main guy in the prequel. Yeah.
That's why. Okay.
And he's more godlike.
Yeah. Because they talk about him like he's a god.
Okay. Yeah. So he's like a big god. So, I can't remember where he is in the lines, but yeah. So he's like Daddy Nyktos because he's more powerful and like dark.
Yeah.
I think he's more shadow Daddy. So
I don't think I'm gonna. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna read the prequel. I think I'm just gonna read the Blood and Ash series, and then I'm gonna be done. I don't know that I can handle it.
Take a long break.
Yeah, I also messed up my NetGalley percentage because I've been listening to it, and I didn't realize that one of my ALCs was going to be archived before I could finish it. So it messed up my ratio, and I'm so bummed.
Oh my god, mine is probably really bad on there because I get books from them, like they're just like, here, download this book. I'm like, sure, and then I never go on there unless I go on there to get something like LJ Andrews books, or like I tried for Bloody Black and they did not give that one to me, probably because my ratio is so bad. I think it's at like 70-something%.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So Rebecca, for all this NetGalley stuff, you should have it. What is it? You should have it 80% or higher
and better. Yeah.
In order to get books. Like that's kind of how they base it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're first starting out, it's hard. Like for me, I've only done like 4 or 5 on there. And so I miss one and it's like, okay, now you're at 60% or 70%. And it sucks.
Or I DNF'd, I think 2 different ones. And so I dropped. And because they ding you for DNFing. I'm like, do you want a bad review? Or do you want me to just say I DNF'd it? Like,
see, that's again, that goes back to our discussion that we've been having forever. I think, like again, if you're going to do like a 1 or 2 star, just put it in a DNF thing. Just don't do that. Just because you didn't enjoy it. Other people might, but put it in your DNF and then explain why you DNF'd it.
Yeah.
And have it in that it doesn't drag the thing down.
And I think NetGalley even has like a little thing like, did you finish the book? And you click it, like, no. But yeah, I guess that doesn't count as a review.
Yeah, they probably
in
just want you to
NetGalley.
like hate read it and finish it no
I
matter what
guess
type
so.
thing. Yeah.
What are you reading, Heather, right now?
Um,
Because we know what Chelsea's doing.
Well, I just finished Bloody Black. I did the audio. So I ran through that thing in like 2 days. And I kind of wish,
That's
well,
impressive.
it was really good.
Yeah.
It's very good.
It's very good. I liked it. I liked how she, I don't know, there's a lot of darker themes, like we know that.
Yes.
But the vengeance part and like becoming a pirate and like the magic, it is not very like heavy base magic. But I know me and Rebecca were talking about the ending, and I was like, okay, I have a question about that for Rhiannon. So,
Well, her and I were
I
talking.
So
don't know if it'll be
maybe
a
I will
spoiler.
say bye-bye.
Yeah.
I'm
I don't know
so
if it'd
afraid
be
to
a
hear
spoiler
anything.
per
Okay.
se, if we word it correctly. Or if I ask her like where to find the answer.
Oh. Well, now I'm
Yeah.
intrigued. Now I kind of want to know. Yeah.
Now, her and I had, because her and I talked a little bit prior to us recording, because her and I were checking her mic and all that kind of stuff. And I told her that I would love to see this story continue on.
Oh
And
my
she had an
gosh.
interesting answer to that.
Oh.
So we will have to talk
wow.
to her about that.
Okay.
Now, but what are you reading? Oh, you just did that. That's what you
Oh,
were doing.
yeah. But I'm reading a couple different things. I'm doing
Well, yeah, you can read multiple
yeah.
books. I can't.
I have audiobook right now. I'm doing the LJ Andrews first series, the
Broken Kingdoms?
yeah.
Or no?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, TBK. What does TBK stand
Yeah.
for? Yes, the Broken Kingdom. So I did 1 through 3. I just finished book 3 last night. And then I'm doing an arc, Hunted by the Dragon Shifter, by Courtney Wins. There are like a bunch of indie authors that are getting together and doing a hunted series, like a hunted. Remember how like Carissa Broadbent did like Slaying the Vampire, and Helen Shearer
Yes.
did hers, and there was like a cluster of those authors that got together and did like a slaying series of sorts,
Yes.
like with their characters. So that's what these people are doing. So A and Coddle, I just did hers, like the Demon Vow one. And there's a few other ones that are coming out. Hunted, they're all start with Hunted by. So
That's neat.
yeah, so I signed up
I like
for a
that
few
when
of
they do
those.
that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like prequels or kind of like spin-offs and stuff like that to their other books that they do. So it's pretty cool.
It's cool. I actually did not know that that was a thing. So that's really cool.
Yeah, and the only reason why I understand it is because Helen Shearer and those gals did it, and that's where those slaying books came from.
Yeah, because hers was Slaying the Shadow Prince, and then Slaying the Vampire Conquerors, the one that Carissa Broadbent did.
Yeah.
I don't know who
else
but I think there were several of them that did it. And even though they don't have anything to do with each other, it's just like with the name, and they did it as a thing, and they were like standalones.
Yeah,
is what they did.
That's cool. I'm such a noob. I didn't know any of that. So that's awesome.
Welcome.
But now again, I'm almost done. I've just been so busy here, but I know I'm still on it, but it's really good. And it's very good. And I only have this little bit to go. It won't take me that long. It's just I've been so busy doing like the podcast stuff, and then doing the Mother's Day thing, getting all that stuff ready. And then my husband's schedule changed, so we're going to bed earlier instead of later. So when I'm reading, I get tired, and I can only read for so long, and then he starts snoring. So
I also just finished audiobooks. But I just finished Landon Hill's book for Fillies and Monsters, the first one. And it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. it's hard for me. Like, I don't know that I'm ready for dark romance quite yet, but it was like very well written. Like, so I'm not saying that it's not good, but like I have a little bit of a hard time where I'm like, ew, gross, but I don't want to yuck anybody's yum.
Yeah.
Because it's
Especially when
really
you're going
good.
romance and then it's like gory themes with the
Yeah.
romance. Yeah. That kind
Yeah.
of reminds me of like Butcher and Blackbird.
Yeah.
That one by
Yeah.
Brian
Butcher and the
Bryn.
Blackbird. Yeah.
Yeah. And like that one, it's like gruesome. It has like
Yeah.
the very dark but comedic, like a rom-com.
That's
And
the thing.
What's
so
the
Like,
it's like
one?
an interesting blend.
at the end of
What was the
Landon's, I
book?
was like laughing and giggling. So she puts those funny things in there,
Yeah.
and it is, and then it's like, okay, it is pretty damn funny. And I love that, but it's also like just getting myself in that mindset. I'm like, after meeting her, I'm like, how did that woman come up with this stuff?
She's like the sweetest person
That's
in
what
the
I'm
entire
saying.
world there.
It's like, so I'm like imagining her writing it, and I'm just like giggling to myself, like, where the hell did she come up with this shit? It's
Yeah.
so funny.
I know.
What's the book
man.
that you read, Heather, where you said that the rib cage was ripped open? It was something you were reading, and you said it was at the beginning of it, and there was something with a rib cage. Was it that one with the Harry Potter one, the redo one? What was it?
Oh, Alchemized?
Was it Alchemized?
Oh,
Is that
probably.
the one?
That one's
Yeah, and
pretty
you said that
gory.
was quite
Yeah.
gory too.
Yeah. That one, I remember it starts off just like ripping and shredding, and people are already under the thumb kind of situation. It was bad. Yeah.
See, and I wouldn't even say the Landon's books are like that, really. It's more just like dark sexual preferences
Okay.
than
Yeah, like
anything else.
kinks.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Well, she
But
said her thing is she's trying to show the dark romance people that love dark romance that her book is that it is cowboy, but it is dark romance too. So she's a hybrid of
Yeah.
the two
no, and
things.
it's really good. I liked the storyline. She did a really good job with it. I loved the end, like the kind of like twist of what happens. Like this is kind of like the suspense part of it. She did a really good job. And then I'm definitely gonna like keep reading her series. I really liked it. For me, it was probably like a 4.5. And because I would hate to give it any less just because I didn't like some of the the sexual preference stuff. Like, but I'm gonna like take a break in between, kind of like I do with the Elsie Silver books, and like read a romantasy and then go back and do her dark romance, because I don't know that I could read like all of it
Yeah.
in one
That's
sitting.
kind of like Nevaeh. Who does the Caught Up and Lights Out?
Oh, Navessa Allen.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
So
yeah.
those two are like those darker rom-coms, right?
Yeah.
Where there's like heavy stalking and knife play
Yeah.
kinks and vibrators involved and like edging and all this stuff. And you're like, dang, like
Yeah.
this was like, I mean, it could be real. Like people get into these things and role play for sure. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's out there, but I mean, it kind of blows your mind too.
Yeah. I kind of have to like take a break from it and be like, okay, let's
Well, I
let's do
mean,
something
this
a
is
little
dark.
lighter.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
dark here. Even though this is vampires, but it's it's submissives and doms and stuff like that is happening in this book as well.
BDSM. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
So there's a lot of I like dark romance. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't found a dark romance so far that I have read that has made me pause and say I can't read it, at
Oh, yeah,
least
for sure.
as of yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
I mean, if I
that's
got
me.
through Hunting and Haunting Adeline, I can get through anything, because that was like very dark for me. And people say that's not even
I
as
haven't
dark
read
as it
that yet.
goes, but it was rough to read. It was hard. So
I think we've been doing good though. I'm
Yeah.
just proud of us that we removed some off of our list
Yeah. I'm at
to make
96.
room for more.
So
Oh, and now I do have one other thing. Now I don't know if you all have seen this. I seen it on Instagram. Now you're not sponsored by these people or anything like that, but it's a new app that's on. Let me see, where did I write it down? It's called Bookmarked. It's Bookmark and apostrophe D. It's an app. You can
Mhm.
put in all your authors that you love and you add them, and it puts all when their books are coming out so that you don't have to keep
Oh.
track of their release dates. They have it for you, and it gives you a countdown to how many days of when the book comes out.
So we're not
And you get
sponsored
to
by them, but we'd like to be.
please.
Yes.
That sounds like a great idea.
And I don't know how many. Now, see, I put a whole bunch of my authors on, but I don't have a vast, author list like some people do. But if you want to have the pro version or whatever, I don't know what they call it. It's like $2.99 a month, and you can put unlimited amount of authors and book series and all this kind of stuff. I just wanted it just for my main authors that I do, and it does the countdown and stuff. And you can suggest series and you can suggest authors. So say you find like an indie that or you can't find an indie author that you like, you can suggest to them to add them to the list. But it's a new app, and I'm like, I know we have a million apps, but this one actually, it's helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Because that's the hardest thing
to get. Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, you'd probably
And
have
so-
to like go through, I mean, we have to be checking everybody's social media and Googling it to be like, when is this book coming out? And so it is nice to have it all in one spot.
Yeah. And sometimes they change them, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Because a lot of times what you'll see on, like if you look on Goodreads or you'll look on Amazon, it's a placeholder. So it might say that it's coming out,
Or
like we'll say
summer.
May 15th, and it might not come out until fall.
Yeah.
Because they do that. Their publishers do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of neat. So if you look,
speaking
it's
of
on Apple
releases-
and
Oh,
Google.
yeah. But speaking of releases, did we see Penn Cole and her burn on September 8th?
Are you so
So-
excited?
You have gotten
Heather?
a date.
Well,
How many
am signed
years?
up to get an arc, so I'll get an arc from her. Yeah.
Now, how many years have you been waiting on this?
Probably 2.5. Yeah, maybe no, maybe 2.5. Yeah. It's been a while.
I pre-ordered Aurora Crate, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yay. I know I was looking at my credit card statement this morning. I was like, gosh, what did I put on there? I was like, oh, yeah, that's like.
Books, and more books.
Well, now, what do you guys think of Rebecca Yaros's? Now she made it clear that it's not book 4. So,
Yeah.
but it's only 100 and some pages. So I'm assuming what she's putting out is a novella.
It is. She
People
kind
were
of
saying,
confirmed that.
well, they're saying the dragons on the edges match book 1. And so they were wondering if that's something to do with that.
It could be. It's not the graphic novel. She said that already. So she confirmed it's not a graphic novel and it's not book 4. So, and she said it was a surprise that she's been working on. So I think it is probably like a novella of either POVs from the other books or something in between. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
Maybe how it all began, like the origin story of the dragons becoming friends with the humans and creating the
Interesting.
shields and stuff.
It also makes me wonder if we're getting like, I don't know. Do you think we might be getting like a what's happening in between while they're separated? Because we know they're going to be separated.
Like Xaden.
Yeah.
And maybe like his point of view.
Yeah. Or like
where he is.
other characters, like maybe it's going to be like Sloane.
Yeah.
What's going on in her life and kind of like break away from them. I don't know.
Hope not. Like a character arc novella.
Yeah, maybe. I know. I don't know. It's crazy, but I hope it's just maybe we get a whole Xaden POV novella. That'd be awesome.
That would be that.
A whole villain
comes out
novella
in September.
Yeah,
Is that what it
September.
said?
Oh gosh,
September.
Okay, so we got Penn Cole that came out. Rebecca announcing her Fourth Wing stuff, and now a novella. And we get 2 books for Avatar this year. Like, this is a fucking amazing year. Like, we get all this news and all these books this year. And we have to wait 6 months or more.
Quarter 3 and quarter 4 going into and then quarter 1 of next year. There's so much.
Yeah, it's gonna be
when
insane.
we do our next quarter episode and stuff, there's a lot of good books coming.
Fury Bound and
The Wolf Queen.
Wolf Queen. You know, I got that audiobook and they're like, sorry to tell you. And I was like, excuse me, what? And they're like, we had to postpone the audiobook till September or something. I'm like, motherfucker.
Oh.
So I might not get to read that until then. but we'll see.
I didn't see the cover art for it.
I signed up for the arc. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Did you see the cover art for the Wolf Queen? I think it's on.
Yeah.
It's either on Goodreads or it's on Amazon, one or the other. And I've seen it, and it's really pretty.
I might have a picture of it.
I just can't wait to see what Fairy Loot does with it, because I have the first two from Fairy Loot, so I gotta finish.
I know, I saw the email for Fury Bound, and I was like, well, I don't have Dire Bound, so how the hell am I supposed to have this just one?
I know. I did it anyways, though, because Stark is on the cover, so I was like, okay, I'll still buy it.
Hey, if you like the art, get it.
Yeah.
You know, if it like reminds you of the dude like in your head, I buy the art. Yeah. I buy the book for the art.
I really wish I could have had Dire Bound, but I wasn't a Fairy Looter back then, so.
Maybe they'll do a reprint or something. Or...
No, they never will.
Oh, they don't do that?
Not really. They like creating
special.
Yeah, they like creating a frenzy for their books.
Well, I mean, from a marketing standpoint, that is very smart.
Yeah.
Because it makes them limited editions. It makes them special.
Yeah.
And makes them more valuable.
That's why people are always like, I'm signing up for Fairy Loot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why we do it. We pay the, $40 a month to be on a list, just get the emails first and dibs.
When you're with Fairy Loot, do you get something every single month since you're paying $40 every month? Well, at least you get something every month.
Yeah.
So at least that's...
And it's gorgeous books.
You just don't know what you're going to get, but they're always really pretty, so it doesn't matter.
It's so really cool. Picky, though. I don't know. I've told you this before. I don't like the unknown aspect of it. Even though I think I would love them and they would be beautiful, but I just...
Well, and they come with cellophane or shrink wrap on them. So you could always sell them to somebody who wants the book too. Like if you're like, oh, when you get your, like they come with a card with the synopsis and tropes and stuff. And you're like, oh, you know what? I'm not into dragons. I'm going to give this one away. So you can do like giveaways with them or sell them for the same price and just get rid of them that way.
I'm sure there are people that, they're disappointed they didn't get them, the ones that you don't want.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know, Iron and Embers through Helen Shearer. I was so mad that I could not get that copy from Fairy Loot.
The one that it's like a potion bottle on it, purple. Yep.
Yeah.
That one is really
It had gorgeous art inside.
Yeah.
Like I would buy that from somebody if they didn't want that.
Yeah. Bookish Box is doing that.
I saw theirs.
So I know, but I because I couldn't get the Fairy Loot one, I was like, all right, I'll do the Bookish Box and then I'll feel better about it.
Yeah. I'm still debating because I don't really like the cover with I don't know. I think I like more of like an art, not just the lines and the title. I kind of like when we have, the books that have like the secret messages in the artwork and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I'll wait a little longer.
Well, now, before we bring Rhiannon on, I just want to mention also, we did do a drink and stuff for her as well, inspired. Now, again, you can find this on our Instagram page under the highlights under Sips. This one here, the collection is The Heart of the Emerald Isle, because our Rhiannon, she is moving to Ireland. So we are doing a little tribute to that. So this is to the one where we toast Ireland and the female rage because of Bloody Black. So the first one is, first up is it's the Obsessed MMC. That's our alcoholic one. And then our mocktail one is the Witchy Dark Romance. Those are the two drinks. And again, we will have those up and you'll be able to hopefully try them out. And again, Heather, Chelsea and I were talking, if we get our Patreon page, if we get that going, we want to have it, and then you have to make some fancy drinks.
That would be really fun. Yeah.
People can come and join us.
Yeah.
I was saying that we have to get better at like making the drinks that we're putting up here. Like I'm so bad. I've had zero time. Yeah. I've had zero time, but I really want to make a lot of these drinks. They sound so good.
And you come on in Cali time. So it's like 9 o'clock there.
Yeah.
Early drinking.
Yeah. So we need to make like a morning drink for Chelsea and then like an afternoon drink for us or nighttime drink. So yeah.
I mean, I'll start. I don't care. I'll start at 9 a.m. That's fine.
As long as, it's Sunday.
These are really nice, though. They're not a lot of ingredients, too. That's the other thing that makes it kind of fun.
Yeah. There wouldn't be hard.
But now I'm just going to say this one last time for everybody who is listening to us. Before we bring Rhiannon on behind the mic here, I do, again, want to shift gears for a moment. Again, we are going to deep dive into the heart of Bloody Black. We're going to be discussing, again, sexual violence and the long-term impact of trauma on characters like Anne. As, your book besties here, we always want to keep it fun, but we also want to believe in honoring the weight of these stories. Our goal today is to look at these subjects so that they're handled with respect that they deserve, focusing on the journey of the victim to survivor and reclaiming the power. So when we come back, girls, we will have Rhiannon.
Awesome.
Please welcome the incredible Rhiannon Hargadon. We are so happy to have you here today.
Hello. Thank you for having me on the podcast. I'm excited, super excited for this.
So Rebecca was telling us that you're moving. Where are you moving from and to?
Yeah, so I currently live in Cary, North Carolina, and we are moving to Ireland in September. So I'll be a international author, I
Girl,
guess. Yeah.
I didn't know you lived in North Carolina. I'm in Wendell right now.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Here I am.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So you're like across the way.
Yeah. And I grew up I was born in North Carolina, so I'm originally from here and then moved all around. Graduated high school in Oregon, went to college in Massachusetts, and then just moved all around the United States for a while with my real job, which I'm trying to escape.
Always.
And then now we're moving to Ireland for my husband's work. So
awesome. Okay, that's why the jump. So I mean, what a great place to go.
What a great adventure. Yeah. And I'm like, how about we rent a castle? And his response was, you're clinically insane. Right. So I guess it'll be a small apartment for us. We'll see. Yeah.
Do you know what part of Ireland you're going to be moving to?
Well, the job is in Dublin, but it's, like all big cities, it kind of sucks. And so maybe we'll be looking at like the outskirts and, Ireland is an island. So I said, if I'm moving there, I need a view of the water, wherever it is. It can be a small town full of sheep, but I want a view of the water.
Yes.
So
that'd be really cool. Like get a cottage on the cliffs or.
Yeah. I want to be able to write my Fey romanticises while staring at the ocean in Ireland.
This. Yes. I could see that. That would be awesome.
Yes, maybe they'll be more romantic and less dark in the future.
Have you ever been, or is this? Have you ever been, or is this? Oh, okay.
Yeah. We just went in January to look around at like towns and houses and like get a feel for the place. So
cool.
At least you have time to pack. Now, how much stuff will you be able to take with you?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Or do you have to sell everything kind of deal?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. And in fact, like getting a pet to a foreign country is also apparently a nightmare. So I think I might, my husband and children might take a plane and then I'll be taking a boat with the dog. I have no idea because there's actually a ship that you can take with your dog to Europe. And I really don't, our dog is like a nervous Nelly. So I really don't want to have her be in the hold of a plane for 10.5 hours or whatever. So I don't know.
Well, and don't they usually have to like quarantine and stuff too? Or would that, see, that'd be so sad.
I know. It seems like architected to be traumatic.
Yeah.
So,
that's a big move. Fun.
It is a big move.
Big.
Yeah.
Are you going to ship your books over or are you going to have to?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to throw shit in a bag and show up. That's sort of my vibe.
So Heather's in North Carolina, and I think that she said that she'll be your shipping hub from from the US.
Look
Look at her.
bring over your books. Yay! I got a whole room here that has nothing in it.
Yeah, it's been kind of so I'm indie, and it's been kind of it's been a real learning experience, like running all of this out of my house, shipping stuff out of my house, TikTok shop out of my house, and I now have some of the members of my street team fulfilling orders internationally, and it's been a wild journey for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you got to find the loopholes to where you're not spending a bunch of money
Yes.
trying to please your readers and
Yeah, for sure.
but
For
also
sure.
get them what they want too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, are you
That's
going to
awesome.
document your journey as you go
Um,
and stuff like that? Because I think people would love to
No.
see just like your adventures in Ireland and what experiences and stuff you might have.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I'm not much of a face person. I don't have like a lot of photos of myself or videos of myself. I know a lot of authors do that. I don't really do that. I just don't think I'm very like photographable or
We all say
personal.
that. We all say that.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, yeah, but I'm still on my journey as an author with that, because originally, I was like, why would I create a street team? Like, nobody will ever post about my books. Why would anybody do that? And my PA was like, are you insane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stephanie Storm was on here the other week, and I was like talking to her about a street team. She's like, I don't know. I'll throw it out there. We'll see who applies. She's like, I was surprised how many people wanted to do this for me. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I
Like,
know
love fans.
several people who have this. I think the official name is imposter syndrome, but that would assume that I'm like even putting a label on it. But I know several authors who have this sort of point of view, which is like, well, why would I offer ARCs? Because no one would read them. And it's like, okay, well, I bet you'll have 700 signups in an hour.
And
right?
they do. They usually do.
Yeah,
Oh,
they do.
man.
So as we're kind of like getting to know you a little bit more, can you tell us, I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but like, can you tell us more about yourself? Like where the inspiration came from for your first debut novel, taking that leap of faith? Will you talk to us about that?
So it's actually kind of a funny story. So I wrote some when I was very young, right? Like I won some poetry competitions when I was a kid. And my family has always said I should be a writer. So my grandmother, my mother, other people, but I was never going to do that. I was always like doctor, lawyer, finance, doctor, finance, and, because I was like, everyone who writes will end up poor. And I was already poor. So I was looking for some kind of fast track to making money and getting out of poverty. And during COVID, my cousin was at college at Meredith College here in North Carolina, and it shut down. So she came to live with us. And when she came to live with us, she brought all of her books, right? My house was suddenly a 20-year-old girl and all of her books, right? And so it was ACOTAR, Red Queen, Divergent, like all of it. And she was constantly reading. I'm like, what are you reading? She's like, you gotta read this. You gotta read this. You're gonna love it. And I was skeptical. I basically had stopped reading books after college because I was just worn out of reading. So I do think the first one that I read was Victoria Aveyard's series, and incredible, amazing, really nice. And then I read the Court of Thorns and Roses. Started on the Sarah J. Maas backlist.
Oh yeah,
infinite backlist of Sarah J. Maas, Throne of Glass, all-time favorite. And she said, I think you could write a book like this. And I laughed hysterically. And she was like, no, seriously, though, what if you wrote a book for me? And so in my first book, the dedication is for Elizabeth, right? That's my cousin. So I started writing a book for her, and it was nothing like the book that ended up being published, right? It was kind of like The Selection, if you read that, which is sort of like a princess, a prince is conducting a trial for whoever wants to be his wife. That's how it started out. It was terrible, absolutely terrible. However, I ended up, getting around 75% there and sending it to an editor who then, in fact, told me that it was terrible, but she also told me that she thought I was a really good writer. And so she was willing to work with me. And so that was, by that time it's 2022. And so that was my first book that came out in 2023, which is a retelling of the Grim Reaper. But the Grim Reaper is a woman who doesn't want to kill people. So she's sort of fighting against this very horrible, dark destiny every step of the way. But all these other forces around her are trying to make her be this thing that she doesn't want to be. So that's that series. And that's really where it began. Yeah.
That's awesome. And what
and
is
of course,
this?
I thought nobody would read it except Elizabeth, right? And I was wrong. So, yeah.
And what was the name of that series for people that
That's
don't know?
Descendants of the Fates.
Okay,
Descendants of the
there we
Fates.
go.
So it's a retelling
Yes,
of the
I got
three
that.
fates: life, death, and time. Yeah.
Yeah. Like one of the books is called Queen Moray.
Queens of Moray. Yeah.
Moray.
Okay.
Yes, I have
Yeah.
that. I grabbed that on the site.
Yeah.
So I have all that on my
Cool.
Kindle now.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
actually
it's-
have a few friends in our, we have a little group on Instagram that we chat in, and there's actually a few of them in there that have that book, because they were mentioning that. Yeah. So
It was an ambitious project that maybe, I was actually just talking to somebody online today their post was about people's, mean reviews. And I was like, I will never forget the review that I received that will stick in my brain until probably my death, which is someone said on that book, this book would have been better if it was written by somebody else, like Sarah J. Maas. And I was like, you're right. It would be amazing if she wrote this book. Maybe we could mail it to her and ask her to clear her busy schedule to rewrite it
Rewrite this, please.
for me.
oh
It would be
my
incredible.
word.
I find
It
it so
didn't hurt
weird.
my feelings as
find
much
it
as it
weird
made
that-
me laugh.
I find it
But-
weird how people think it's okay to write you and say those kind of things to you.
Incredible.
It's weird.
However, yeah, I did take on a lot with that book, right? And I think, hindsight is 2020, but certainly like a lot of it's just experience, which is that maybe the naive version of me was like, of course I can do a book with a love triangle and time travel and all of the tropes and a dragon shifter. And so there's a lot happening in that book. If I had only picked like 2 things and executed well, it would have been way better. I do love that series, though. I love the characters so much because there's so much lying and betrayal.
I like
and
that.
so there's a ton of plot twists. And it's sort of established for me that I didn't really want to write traditional romantasy for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And where does Bloody Black come in?
Yeah.
How or which book is that in your publishing?
That is my 5th book, technically. And I was, I really did enjoy flipping most people expect the Grim Reaper to be a man and she's a woman. And so I was kind of loving that. And I was like, I like doing retellings. I would love to do a retelling of another male historical figure as a woman. And so I was thinking through a lot of ideas. One of my ideas everybody hated, but I still like, which is redoing George Washington as a woman.
It's just the way you said it. It's making me laugh. I'm like, wait, what? I love it.
I would love to do that. And so I was thinking about that, and I was just kind of making a list, and I was like, ooh, what about pirate? And I was like looking, and I was like, why hasn't anyone ever rewritten Blackbeard? And so then I was like, okay, I'll rewrite Blackbeard as a woman. And I don't really know when the story took a turn, right? I think there's ways that it could have been written where it was just a swashbuckling good time. But that's not the story that happened, right? And so it became a very dark, rally cry about revenge and whether or not revenge is worth it. Is really what the story became. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's written very well like that. Like, I understood all of that, that you're
Yeah.
like, how it happened, why she becomes that way, how she becomes Blackbeard. It's very cool. But it is dark if you think about it. Blackbeard
Mhm.
was known as like this ruthless scavenger of the seas, right? And
Mhm.
pirated, and like they say, no mercy, no quarter. Or I said that backwards, I think. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's very ruthless, and
Totally.
so that comes through. And
Yes.
I mean, that brings your dark themes. So yeah, I enjoyed it because it felt like a real pirate story where that would happen back
Right.
in the
Yep.
day of that time. Like, this is what people do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Very.
and I also, once the story, like I want to say like the story was revealing itself, I also wanted to spend a lot of time on how people handle trauma because um I am no stranger to trauma myself, and then all of, maybe not all, but certainly most of my group of female friends have been through things, and we all handle it a bit differently.
Yes.
And I don't think there's any like right or wrong way to handle your trauma. And that was also something that I wanted to be very obvious in the book, right? There's
Yeah.
a character who's like, we should forgive, right? And everyone else is like, oh no. And then there are people who are like, actually, we should just murder them. Like, that's what we should do. We
Yeah.
should just do some
Right.
ritualistic killing and it'll feel awesome.
Yeah.
And then there are others who are like, you should let it go. You don't have to forgive, but you don't get to just kill people. Like, maybe just let it go. And so I think the tension between the characters is really about the reader, which is like, what do you believe? And so it's kind of interesting whenever people ping me, which I do get a lot of pings in the middle of the night, from people who've read the book, and whoever their favorite character is either who they are or who they wish they were, right? As they handle their own trauma. So
Right.
yeah.
But really, and you have a group of girls who are all going through the same trauma. And whether it was at one time or another, and they kind of rescue each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about like sexual assault here, SA, in
Mm-hmm.
the book. So this happens to our group of characters, and they rally together and they create this like vengeful story, and they come there's a lot to it. I can't spoil anything for those of you that haven't, but there's a lot of finding friendship with those people, but maybe also the friendship breaks off. And
Mm-hmm.
because you learn, like, I can't validate how you are dealing with your trauma, so I need to separate myself from you because of that. And that's really heartbreaking because you think like these girls have been through these things together. They're best friends. They've come together at that time to heal, and then you grow apart again. And so that part was kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, there's more um
Yeah.
points to the story, that as she goes through her vengeful.
Through her journey.
Yeah.
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 Through her
So
journey of vengeance.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
since we're kind of moving that way, for somebody like me who hasn't gotten to the point yet where we've gotten into any of the trauma, or for readers who are looking at your book, looking at the synopsis, seeing that there's the trigger warning, let's address that for potential readers that are listening. So, and I've said this before, I think on prior episodes. I've heard a lot of authors say, like, look, this is like meant to be healing for people. And so people that like back off of it right away because they just see the trigger warning, it's like, yes, we're going to talk about something that's deep and heavy, but it's meant to be healing. So can you speak on that from your perspective as an author?
For sure. Yeah. I thought it was really important to include, and it is realistic, not gratuitous, for those who are triggered by sexual assault. Skip chapter 6. And I say that really clearly in my trigger warnings. And it's also totally fine and possible to skip that chapter and still know, right? You're not going to miss any other facts you should have known, right? So I've had readers who read it anyway and messaged me, including actually some authors who did skip that chapter. So you can skip that chapter and it'll be okay. I also felt though that, like, you know, part of women's experience honestly is this, for real. And I think we are sometimes too shy to name deep violence for what it is.
Right.
And too quick to excuse it, and too quick to say he had reasons, or he didn't mean it, or maybe he's a nicer guy now. No. Right. And so I wanted that to just put a line in the sand, actually, in a way. Right.
It's easier to victim shame somebody when you don't know what they've been through, because it's so hard for them to talk about it. So, yeah.
Yep. And I actually think, like, if I may compare for a second, like, I think there's a lot of readers who dislike Nesta. And I think one of the reasons that's possible is because we don't really see her trauma, or right? We don't see it.
Unless
We're not
you
there.
relate to it.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm putting Anne's trauma right there on the page for you. Like, you can't pretend it didn't happen. And so far in all the reviews I've received, I think there's only been one person who was like, she's kind of mean. Right.
They're talking about Anne being
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. And so, I'm like, well, there has to be one apologist for the men here somewhere. It's not me.
No, I thought it was really well written in all of those points that you said. Like, do you forgive because of this? Or now that it's 10 years later and you get your vengeance and they've maybe changed, do you still get your vengeance, or do you, let it go? Or they're a different person now?
Or it's too much effort because, like,
but
maybe
still
living well is the
you.
best revenge. That's definitely a way to feel. And so I wanted to also, like, I think that's also why it was important for me to treat all the characters in a very balanced, loving way, right? Like, I don't want it to be like, so we'll talk a little bit about the characters for a second. So, like, for Domino, her mindset is reciprocity, right? So she was traumatized. So she implements her trauma exactly as it was done to her. Nothing more, nothing less. I love that about her.
Domino.
But she's
shabby.
such a good, warm, caring person otherwise, but she will take a knife and carve words into your chest.
And she's like, hey, love.
How are you?
Yeah.
Are you married?
Yeah. Hey.
Oh, I love how she does that. Oh,
she's like, you think he's married?
Yeah.
Because her trauma is that a married man basically, like, had her as his mistress. She didn't know, and then was like basically blamed her for it and called her a whore. And so now she finds married men and she, like, carves the word whore on their chest and leaves them on their doorstep for their wives to find so that they can rationalize their behavior. And how did this get there?
Yes.
I love her so much, right? So I didn't want to. I think, each character has their own way with dealing with their trauma, but there's no judgment from me as the author about which is the right or wrong way to be, right? So
yeah. But I like
sure.
that you give all those options and all that. So there's lots of relations for whoever reads it. And whether it happened to you or did not happen to you, you could still relate in maybe some other kind of trauma, because it's a book about how you deal with the trauma that happened to you.
It's a huge found family. I'm kind of still, like, looking back in disbelief that it's such a large cast, to be honest.
It kind of is now that you say that.
It's a big cast. Yeah.
And I love it. And you can, when you first start the book, you can see them. And you can see everybody.
I love that.
And I love that too.
I was going to say, so I have the ebook. Is the art, like, I love the little ship and everything up above all the chapters. Is that in the book as well, the physical?
Yeah, the chapter headers.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah. Yes, I love those. I go really overboard with artwork, really overboard. The chapter headers, the title page, the scenes. I go really overboard.
It sets you apart for sure. I love it.
It's an addiction.
Beautiful. Yeah.
It helps bring the story to the imagination, you know?
Yeah.
So how do the characters live in your head, or where do you get the inspiration? How does it work up in here in this brilliant little mind of yours?
Well, I think in the beginning it's just for me, right? For me, in the beginning it's just writing, right? It's just outlining. And then there's some invisible point where they start to, it's a little bit of a velveteen rabbit, like they start to feel real. And that's how I know that the train is really moving, if you will, right? So I'm currently working on a book for this fall, and in the beginning it's like, okay, here's my idea. It's a witchy romantasy, two men, right? And at a certain point, though, it's just they're just talking. They're just talking in my head, and it's like, well, I didn't say that. This is what I said, and then she said this, and that's bullshit, right? And so it starts to feel like they're a group of friends, like kind of arguing around me about what's happening in the book and where it should go. And so for me, that's how they come to life in a way. So at that point, it stops being a story I'm writing and it's more a story that I'm telling, but it belongs to it belongs to them. Right. And so I think that's why they feel so real, is that to me, they sort of are actually. And so, I was talking to a group of other authors and I was like, I'm just trying to do Anne's story justice. I'm not trying to do, it's not my story, it's her story. And I'm just getting it out on paper for other people to read. And so I'm just trying to make sure I reflect like how she really felt and what she would really say about these events in her life. Right. Because I was never a pirate. Right. So.
Yeah. And for Anne's story is, I mean, we obviously don't have to go too deep into the inspiration for her but depending on how I'm presenting it to you, like, is it something that's completely new that you just thought up on your own, or the character fed to you, or is it a culmination of real life experiences from friends, family, for yourself?
Kind of. So this will be sad. I try not to get too emotional. So I am a survivor myself of a abusive relationship that I thought I would never get out of. And I don't want to talk a terrible amount about that, but one of my other cousins was killed by her husband, who was her high school sweetheart. And nobody saw that coming. So you never know what's happening behind closed doors at all. And we were all just very, very shocked. And so I have that, which is like sometimes the person who betrays you is the person who you love, who you expect, only the best from, who you have total trust in, and nobody sees that coming. And then for me, it's more like everybody saw it coming but me. And I think the trauma that I carried forward from that, and to be honest, I think this is not unlike some other women, which is that I did a lot of self-blaming for like what I could have done. But the most important self-blame that I did was I knew that whoever he dated after me was doomed. And I didn't warn her. And I'm still sad that I didn't warn her, because I'm sure that he was the same to her as he was to me. And obviously, this is some like beautiful, like fun loving, and he's going to destroy her. And I knew that, but I was so happy that he'd found somebody new, that he would finally stop like stalking me and calling my grandmother's home and like threatening my life, that I was like, I was just happy that he had found somebody else. And now, and like, I still really regret that I didn't warn her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
But
a
at the same
survivor's
time,
guilt,
Would she have even
innocence.
believed me though?
that's what I was gonna
Like,
say. There are so many
no.
times where it's like, even our loved ones, like, I have people in my family that have gone through certain things, and it's like, you want to tell them like, hey, I feel something off about this guy. But the more you say that, the more you push them away
Totally
into this person, or like, and it isolates them. And so sometimes it's a really hard, delicate situation. And it almost comes down to the person that's in that situation has to fight for themselves. And it sucks.
Yeah,
it
for
sucks to
sure.
be a family member or a friend, and that happened to them, and been like, I wish I could have helped you. Like, I wish you could have said something to me, but you're fighting this battle internally and you feel like you can't turn to anybody.
Yeah.
I know. And I don't think anybody, I mean, people certainly tried. Nobody could have talked me out of that relationship, and then nobody could get me out but me, to be honest. So,
And so then, if
Yeah.
you don't mind sharing, like, did you do therapy? Was writing your therapy?
you bet.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I was traumatized. If I heard my phone ding with a text for like the next year, I started feeling a little panicky. Right?
Yeah.
And would wake up in the middle of the night and like check my locked door and check my window locks and make sure no one was there outside. So I was very vigilant for a really long time. I think it took me like 3 years to save phone numbers to my phone again, because he had like gone through my phone and would just call. If it was a man who was in my phone, he would call them and accuse them of sleeping with me, even if it was like my manager from 4 years before. So it took me a while to like become comfortable with phones again. But yeah, so I cried so much writing this book, actually, because I was like sort of reliving my own pain. And certainly I made other people cry reading this book, including my editors, including my ARC team, including my PA. So I think if you haven't read it, I would definitely expect emotional damage that will stick with you, to be honest. Yeah.
And the awesome part about it being a book is that, like you said, you can skip chapter 6, you can read it, and then maybe you can come back to it, revisit it if it's something that is pulling to you or calling to you to go back and read. It's just so awesome that you put it all out there, and thank you for talking about that. I know that isn't easy. But bless you for doing that, because so many people are going to be able to connect with you through that and heal because of what you've put on the page and what you've said even today. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
I always mark.
There is a wholesome green flag romance in this book, however.
I did see that. There's a happy ending, everybody. So it got deep, but there's a happy ending.
Like, even to the very end, you're going, okay, when is it going to change? What's going to happen now? Wait a minute.
Always my mark of a good book is if it makes me cry. And even in all kinds of different things. And this book does do that. And that leads me into my question with you. We've talked about it when you and I were just talking, because I know it's a standalone, but I would love if Anne's story continued.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts there? Is there ever any hope that Anne could reappear for us?
There is hope. There is hope. So I, with my first series, I'm still digging out, crawling out of that hole. And so the last book in that series will be published this year. And it basically made me feel like I just want to write standalones for a while, just because I don't want to make like a multi-year commitment again. However, I have had an idea, which is only an idea, about what a sequel could look like. So I'm pondering it. The problem is I have my series end this year, and I also have my standalone Witch Romantasy for fall. And then for next year, I have a few books like that I had written like 50 to 70,000 words on already. They're just sitting.
Damn.
That I put on hold. And so I'm like, well, I could start something new, but I should really finish the ones that are like 50 to 75% done. So it might not be soon, but that depends on the loudness of the characters in my head, right? Because it just depends. But I do have an idea.
Now, your idea. Let's talk about a little bit more about your idea. Like interconnected standalone type of idea, or
yes.
or like a continuation of a series kind of idea.
No, it would be more like an interconnected standalone.
Okay. All hypothetical, of course.
All hypothetical. There's another. So I'm trying not to spoil anything for you. At one point in the book, we have this run-in with another ship, and the captain of that ship, he sucks. And so maybe we might want to see this man get his comeuppance.
Hell yeah.
Right? Maybe. And so I think I could do something with that, right? And the characters do talk about it at the end of Bloody Black. So
is that what you were talking about, Heather?
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah. I want to know what the wish was.
Oh.
Is there a page where she wishes?
Oh, she wishes. Yeah. So she wishes to just build her own ship and like be happy.
And that was earlier on.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. She wants to build something rather than just killing stuff.
Yeah, okay, I remember that part. But I was like, wait a minute. I was like Anne in that situation. Wish? What?
What?
Yeah. It was just a sort of a minor comment. And I think, it was something that Xandretta held on to.
Yeah, which is amazing. So I don't want to spoil it for Chelsea, but that is kind of like another like moment during the story.
I'm so excited. Sure. I'm so excited. The more we really talk about it, the more excited I am to read it.
Yeah. No, it was an emotional book to write. And then, I actually have to tell you, like, because of the process being what it is, like when it went to editing, I have a first line editor, who, she has been in the industry for a really long time, and she's very brutal. And she wrote back and she was like, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to change the whole ending. And so actually the ending that all the readers got is not the ending that I originally had. And so she made some suggestions for what she thought the ending could be. And I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. And so I went and rewrote the entire ending.
Wow.
At her direction, and I think the ending is much stronger as a result. So then that happened, and then I have my beta readers and ARC readers and all that, and so those actually I usually implement some small changes as a result of those readers' feedback as well. So yeah, that's the.
Now I want to know what was.
I know. Okay, so I was gonna say
I can't tell you because Chelsea's here.
I know, so I kind of wanted to say, like, we're gonna have to do another episode once I finish reading it, and for everybody that's already read it, so we can hear what this alternate ending is. Because now I'm gonna finish it today. Okay, I'm not gonna get up. I'm gonna binge read. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we'll have to do spoilers.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like because Chelsea, you haven't read far enough along for us to even talk about the MOC because you don't even know who he is.
Nope. I don't want to hear it. Yeah. None of it. I mean, I do, but I don't at the same time.
It is, but it is such an amazing book, and I absolutely loved it. Like, again,
I mean, you guys can give me some bones, some teasers without spoiling too much.
One of my favorite characters is Jolly Roger.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, look at the Jolly Roger.
Yeah.
Swinging in the wind. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember that, Chelsea.
Yes. Remember that. Yes.
I'm so excited.
Jolly Roger.
The scene with the boot.
And the boot.
I love.
Yes.
The boot scene.
cracking up with that.
I've never laughed so much at bodily mutilation in my whole life.
And they just like carry on like, oh, a mutiny. Okay.
Ew.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Chelsea, you'll have to let us know when you get to that point,
awesome.
and
Okay.
let us know what you think.
I'm very
Yeah.
excited.
I would
On
say
my
Jolly
street team
Roger.
kept sending me the scene from Finding Nemo with the seagulls and like just laughing helplessly because they were like the seagulls are
Yeah.
feasting.
Yep.
It's great.
And
Yeah.
you did say coming up here this is it in May or June? You have a couple book boxes coming out.
I
Correct?
do. Yeah. So Bloody Black was selected for 2 UK book boxes.
Oh.
And so that's
I pay
Everheart
shipping.
and Butterfly. And
Okay,
they
there
decided to just be back to back. And I was like, are you sure? I mean, yeah. But the designs and the overlays and everything are exquisite, and they're so different from each other. That I actually, people have already pinged me to be like, I signed up for both, and I have all of the other editions. And so they're really, really beautiful. I'm going to be giving some away like through my Instagram, but yeah, they're both incredible. They're both really nice, and the overlays are, yeah, they're really good. Some not safe for work overlays coming our way.
that would be awesome.
Oh, I do have a spot marked. It's my only annotation of a mark of when you discuss an anatomy part of how she has to touch something. So I have it marked. So when Chelsea gets there,
I need to know what you marked.
I'll
Send it to me. Send me a
open
picture.
know.
I'm kind of open to a
wanna know.
spoiler right now. Read it, Rebecca.
Oh Lord, this is when my contacts are blurry and then I can't
Oh,
I can't read.
please.
Well, here it's where her fingers can barely wrap around him.
Oh,
Now,
I
what
do
do we
remember
talk
that.
about when we're always saying it's like
Huh?
because my
Okay,
hand
maybe she has really tiny hands. Okay,
I have to take whenever it's that in our
she's
books.
not a
It's our
dainty
favorite.
woman, actually, and yeah, she's not a dainty girl. She will kick your ass. Yeah, no. I loved that scene, the first kiss scene. I think I loved it so much, and I loved it so much. I think there's so much about this book that like really flips things on their head. He's tied up, not her. She's the aggressor, not him. He's like, I love you forever. And she's like,
Right.
oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's
great.
I think I loved it so much. The
Yeah.
dynamics
He's
between
like,
the two
do
of them.
whatever you want to me. And she's like,
Yeah.
fuck you. But kiss me now.
She's like, I want you to get your charming face out of my face. And he's like, you think I'm charming? And she's like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
No, I despise you, actually. And he's like, I don't
Yeah.
think you do.
Yeah. Your body's telling me something else, lady.
Yeah. It's
it's
my
great.
favorite.
I
Yeah.
can't wait till you get to these parts, Chelsea, so you
I
can
know, I'm so
So
talk
excited.
to us. But oh yes, I
Yeah.
did make sure to mark that when I was reading it because I was like,
Yeah.
those are
Yeah.
some of my favorite moments in books. I have to tell you.
One of our like running jokes, Rhiannon, is that Rebecca's always the one in our like group chat to ask, is there spice? And so
Mhm.
it's so funny that her one annotation is in this.
That one
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because none of my books, I don't do vanilla books. It has to, I am full open door and I like descriptions and I
Yeah.
like to know details. And that is a
And this is
detail
what you
right there.
like.
And this is how she started like our whole little group chat in this podcast was Rebecca's like, she had all the really good, like dark romance recs like right away. And so that like started the whole thing. So I like trust any dark romance that she recommends.
Yeah,
Well,
she does her homework.
And I do
I
feel
research-
like, Bloody Black is also like a green flag romance where it's like, it's a dark book with like I wouldn't say it's dark romance except for his bondage, maybe.
Right. But yeah, I mean, it's gory, but that's not like dark romance. Like their
Per se.
romance in it is not dark.
So what I'm getting though is that he helps her heal. Is that
Absolutely.
okay? So he's like our green flag MMC that comes in and helps her heal.
Yeah, he's kind of a golden retriever.
Oh,
Okay.
in many ways, yes.
And I love that because how many of us like are the black cats in our relationship? Like I know I am. I'm the grumpy one. I don't want to talk to any of the neighbors. And my husband's out there, you know, like talking to everybody. And I'm just like, don't talk to them. They're annoying. Like they always want to know our business. And he's like sitting at the window and waving at everybody.
Totally.
So I do love that because it's like we can connect to these female characters that have all this pent up rage.
For sure. That's totally their dynamic. And yeah, he's Mr. Consent for sure. He also is just very patient and frankly adoring of her. Yeah.
And
For
the way
reasons which you will discover.
and the way, and like how she was saying, like how she is towards him, he has such patience for her, and he really, he tries, and he's very, you know what I mean? And she's like very bristly because I mean, from her experiences, that would make you very bristly. And he has patience, and he's just like, he just waits.
And he doesn't know, like he doesn't understand why she's that way until very later on. So he's just kind of like going with it, like, okay, I know something happened or is wrong, and you have trust issues, yada yada, but I'm here for you because I like you, and you're, you know,
because she is.
For sure.
Now you are actually. She was telling me when we were talking earlier. She has just started the Plated Prisoner series. She's on book 1, and I told her she will.
So many good ideas for books.
I told her she will be meeting my book husband, but I can't tell her who because she's not on that book yet.
No, not yet.
No, I'm just in the first one. I usually I have like an audiobook, and then I'm reading maybe 1 or 2 books on ebook at the same time. And so right now I'm reading Bones and Guild, and then my audiobook is The Everlasting. So yeah.
I will say when I started Bloody Black, it kind of reminded me of Brave, the Disney movie, and like Merida. She's like, I'll be fighting for my own hand. Like that's just like totally how like what it came in as. Do any of your characters have accents in your head?
Oh yeah, totally. Nell, who did the audiobook, I went with her because I thought she actually did sound like Nell, like Anne in my head, which is a slight, like sort of Britishy Welsh accent.
That's what I heard in my head when I first read, because I was like, it's like she's like very proper, and she sounded like she came from a very fancy family, and that's how that is how I heard her. And then as the story progressed, I see in my mind she lost that properness and got a little bit more gritty in her
but
ways.
she still loves her fancy sunscreen and face cream and perfume. There's no need to smell like a barrel of fish on the high seas. As a former princess who's now out there.
Some things stick with you.
Yeah. Well, that's what I would do. I would try to wear sunscreen if I was forced to be out in the sun all day.
Now you said you have a book coming out this fall. Do you have a date of when that book will be released, or a kind of a ballpark?
I have a ballpark. I was going to do it, the couple days before Halloween, but now Sarah SJM has ruined everyone's plans, and everyone is moving their releases because nobody wants to interfere with the unstoppable chain. So I'm thinking it will be, maybe second week of October-ish. I did pre-orders for Bloody Black. It was a huge amount of work, insane. I will not do it again. So I'm not going to offer pre-orders or anything. It's just it'll go out to my ARC team, and you'll start seeing it, and then it'll just be there. So, yeah.
You said this one has a witchy vibe to this one.
Yes.
Witchy coven, witchy pirates, witchy.
No. So the general gist is her and her family are on the run, and we don't really know exactly why they're on the run, and they settle in a town, and she just wants to fit in, and she makes friends with a group of girls who practice a little bit of witchcraft in their spare time. So she gets sort of caught up in wanting to be their friend, and they're not so nice, maybe. Yeah. And so we have a witch, we have a male witch who's also there, who becomes sort of like a mentor teacher. We have a crone as another mentor teacher.
Okay. Love the crones.
And then we have a sort of forced marriage situation. So we'll see what happens.
I'm excited.
I don't want to give away too much.
Geographically in that story, like, do you kind of have like a setting in mind, or that you could describe for us? Like, is it based on your Ireland visits, or what is in your head?
Is it London, New America?
Yeah. So I'm currently planning for it to be a retelling of the Salem witch trials.
Oh,
I was going to say, that sounds so much like Salem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, from the point of view of basically of a woman who's trapped in them, but not really the reason or the big like main event. And it's sort of, you're watching it happen, and you're like being accused, but it's like, isn't really witchcraft. All I did was burn a candle one time. Like, come on. So we'll see what happens. I'm not sure how much of a actual witch I will make her versus somebody who's accused of being a witch. And who at the time when it happens is maybe like, yeah, okay, so I like made a special tea and burned a candle. Like, I don't think I should be hanged for that, right? Versus some actual witches who are escaping, right? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
And is that the title reveal on Instagram right now that we're guessing at? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, now I have an idea.
So by the time this podcast
it will be spicy, though, Rebecca. Just so you know, it will be very spicy.
By the time this podcast releases, will we know what the title is, or is that going to come after the podcast releases?
I think it will be right around the same time, actually.
Okay.
So,
So I was going to say, does Heather get to hear it right now?
Yeah,
or
do
no?
we get it?
we can delete this part out right here.
I mean, the only thing is if I guess it, like
you can't guess on the Instagram guesser. Yeah.
Because I would be cheating.
Up to you. I can tell you.
Okay, tell me.
It's tallow and bone. And I was tallow and bone. I was like, I'm gonna be confused with everybody who's like trad wife giving recipe Rex right now. Whatever. It's tallow and bone. And I'm really excited about the covers. I've already gotten some of the art in. It is fire. Well, I love. So I'm really excited about this one. Yeah, I'm excited about it. We'll see what happens. You never know. I actually did not know about Bloody Black, like performing the way that it has. I didn't know, right? I was like, this is not traditional romantasy. It's dark romance, but the romance is not that dark. Like, I don't know. And so I didn't know what kind of reception it would have. And so that's how I feel about all of my books, right? I don't know how it will go. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, tropes are tropes. Sometimes you have to make up your own, people.
They're enemies to lovers, except he loves her desperately, and she despises every fiber of his being.
I just write all that in there. Yeah, we like when people have unique tropes.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that we like a lot of those kind of books where you're like, but it's like this, but it's also kind of like a mixture of
different.
This one.
Yeah.
I feel like the trope thing can kind of be suffocating. It's like we all love them and it's great, but it's also, can we stop trying to fit everything into these little boxes? Like, let's just enjoy it.
Sure.
We don't have to identify every single thing.
Yeah.
Yes. So
well, and that's also, I was like, okay, well, I'm like, no, don't say his name.
Go ahead. No,
nobody.
I've seen that.
You know, he's tattooed. He's dark haired. He is the least broody man ever.
Yeah.
So someone was like, oh, he's my sunshine pirate daddy. And I was like, oh, that's absolutely how I would describe him.
Yeah,
he's so full of joy.
He
he's
looks dark
go
and
swim
dangerous.
naked in the sea and eat avocados. And
Yeah.
she's like, piss off, right? Like,
Yeah.
she's so full of venom for this man.
And he is so, every step of the way, from when she first sees him, all that, he is
Yeah.
so sweet to her the entire time. He has
Mhm.
that love for her, or whatever, how you want to put it, that connection
is
with her,
a
and she does not want that part of him. And well, she does, but she
Yeah.
doesn't. But you know what I mean? She
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
that.
She has
It's
a lot
bristly.
of
she's
internal
defensive.
turmoils
Mhm.
going on with her
Yeah,
feelings.
she has a lot of internal turmoil going on. Not that you could blame her. So yeah, so anyway, so there's a lot going on, actually.
Yeah, you've got a full calendar here. And
Well,
dealing with an international move in the midst of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I guess, the biggest news, this which won't be news by the time this airs, is like we're doing an announcement on Monday of a book deal for Bloody Black. So that's very exciting. So we'll just be staying tuned.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
We have to come back and we have to do a deep dive of Bloody Black, because once we get Chelsea, we get you, that you have read the whole thing, then we can discuss the real ready parts of all of it.
All of
Yeah.
And then
All
of
of the
course then you'd have to come back another time and talk to us about your new book as well, because that would be so much fun for all of us. We absolutely.
Yeah.
This has
Well,
been
and
a
there's
super fun thing doing this with
there's a
authors.
couple of other witch books coming out, and so I'm excited about those, because I really felt, Amelia J and I were writing at the same time, and we're friends, and so I was like, is this going to be similar to Bloody Black? I'm so worried about The Wraith Beneath the Tides, right? I was worried. And then they came out, they're nothing alike, like literally nothing, these two books. And so I have a few other author friends who are doing witch books, and I'm like, quick check-in. Is this trope in your book? And they're like, no. And I'm like, sweet. Right. So far the witch cohort is sounding very, very different. So that's good news too.
Yeah.
You don't want to overlap too much.
Yeah. But it's also good to have like more a spectrum out there too, so you're not like one witch book and you're like,
yes.
why
Well,
is there
and
just
I also think
one
most
coming
people
out?
most people in my friend cohort don't write books anywhere near as dark as mine. So that's
Right.
also a plus. They're more pure fantasy romance.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like to think of it as grim dark romantasy.
Yeah.
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 I'd say that.
Heather also
Mhm.
came up with a new term for plot twist.
Oh no. Yes, she
I was
did.
trying to say plot twist and I was like, she has some good twat. Right? Oh, it's so hard. I was crying.
I'm sure that would make it through the Instagram filters.
That's so hard.
I was really like, oh yeah, she's got some great twat in
And
there.
she's like,
plot twist.
Grade A. No, there are so many plot twists. I do that in all of my books, actually. Yeah.
Oh, it was a good time.
Oh Lord, that's hilarious. Oh my God, that is funny.
Yeah.
I told you, if we say this is a new term. People can start using that term.
It might be like fetch though, but we'll try it. Right?
we're going to try to make twat happen.
We
For
will.
sure. I was like, it's
I
like
don't
when
know.
I said the only way we could really use it if it's like when the twist comes before the plot or something, like, I don't know, it's a twat.
Yeah.
We're going to make it a thing somehow.
There are a lot of
what we were
twists.
doing prior to talking to you before bringing you in, and we were laughing. So, and it's when we stopped between when we
Recording.
recorded and
Yeah.
then bringing you in,
Yeah.
and we didn't have it. It was funny.
That would have been really fun to have.
That will be a good one. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Well,
but that was
So
this
for
has been super fun.
I also want to ask that real quick because Heather listened to the audio. Rebecca, you're reading it physical copy. I'm reading it on my Kindle through Kindle Unlimited. So for the audiobook, is it a male and female narrator? Is it a female that does all of it?
I wish.
Okay.
No, it's just a single narrator. I really did want a duet, but sometimes we don't get what we want in life. So
It's hard.
it's just, I loved her though.
Yeah.
I was really happy with her, with Nell's, with the single narration.
Mhm.
one of my other books is coming up. Lily and Thorn is coming up. The audiobook should be released in the next week or two, and it's a duet. But I would love to do more duets, just because I'm an audio person personally, and a man growling "good girl" into a microphone reduces me into a pile of jelly. So I have to write a book where I can get a duet happening where that happens for me, because I just need.
Yeah, it's hard. I've done some narration for a couple of indie authors, and I think that people don't realize, like, it's hard budget-wise, and just even with, like, getting it onto ACX, like, there are a lot of moving pieces and parts, and what kind of sucks for narrators is that, like, people will rate it lower because it wasn't duet, and it's like, that's not really fair. Like, can you just listen to the narration? Like, keep that in mind, that, like, not everybody can get the two voices, and, like, based off of that, like, because I've seen a couple where it's like, oh, it's a 4, it's a 3 because they didn't have a male narrator, and it's like, yeah, it sucks.
Well, and it's also so much more effort for everyone to do the editing between the two voices, because people, there are some cases where it's, a man and his wife and they're a duo and they do the duets, but otherwise, for the most part, this is a human being who's, like, in Orlando and the other person is in Seattle, and they literally don't know each other recording their parts of the book. And then someone has to edit it all to make it all sound nice for us, the listener. And it just adds a lot of extra time and a lot of extra cost. So I think it's very hard for indies to do duet narration. And so there's,
one day,
there's that.
Well, since we're getting a book deal, maybe we could get a graphic audio.
Oh, I would really like that too. That would be cool. That would be cool. Yes.
It's like you said, especially with your cast, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
So on a totally unrelated note, so yesterday I went to TITS, which is Temptation in the Triangle, which is a book con here in Raleigh. A man stops at my table. He's looking at all the not safe for work artwork, and he's like, "Oh, this is beautiful. This is so nice." I look at his badge, Corvin King. I was like, "You can have it all for free." Also, please do my audiobooks. Please don't leave before I introduce myself and ingratiate myself so that you like me as a person and do my audiobooks.
That's
so
cool.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool. And there were some other audiobook narrators there reading people's passages from their books. It was really fun. It was a great event. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Was he visiting, or is he here in North Carolina?
I was like, does he live here?
Yeah.
This seemed like a random weekend trek to Raleigh.
Raleigh, of all places.
Who does that? So maybe he lives here
or around.
As we all commence our collective stalking online. No.
Research.
Well, this weekend too is also up in New York City is BookCon. Did you see the pictures of the line?
Looks horrible, right? I mean, it looks fun, but also horrible. I didn't even apply because I'm still learning that these things even exist, right?
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh, have you applied to Imaginarium?" I'm like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
I'm
learning them too
in my Arthur journey.
Yeah. Well, Maggie Sinceri, the author, she was there. She didn't know what to expect because I don't think she's ever gone to that particular one before, and she only brought just so many books with her, and she completely sold out last night.
That's awesome.
And she's like, I'm going to be there today, but she said, I don't have anything that they can purchase.
Books. Yeah.
Amazing.
So she did that. Now we've talked to that, like, if you have your like if Bloody Black was made into a movie, who would you put in the roles of Anne and some of these people?
Should we start with Heather giving some of her ideas, and then you can say if you agree or you have somebody else in mind?
With Anne, I just saw a character art of her for your sale of Bloody Black at 99 cents. And she looks a lot different than I thought she would, but also yes. I was like, yes. That makes more sense in my head, this character art.
You mean the one done by Trina that's more realistic looking?
Yes.
Yeah.
With her eyes kind of blue glowing, the long hair. She has this unruly curly hair. So I was just thinking I don't know who has like big like curls in their hair. Maybe like the girl from Seinfeld. That's
No.
like way old.
But
No,
but
I
hair-wise,
sort of imagined
yeah.
Who do you
I
got?
sort of imagined like Ruby Rose
Okay.
or even Zendaya or someone who's clearly, you know, not like completely pale skinned, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the tattoos and on
Mhm.
her were done well, because I was thinking like, okay, and how is it like here? Is it here? Like where does the beard kind of come from and stuff?
Mhm.
And so I liked how they did that in the character arc. So I was like,
Yeah,
okay, that
yeah.
looks pretty. I like that a lot. So
Yeah. And then I don't want to not for Rob, who's the guy who Jacob Elordi maybe, like, or someone who has sort
Okay.
of, I think you want somebody who has sort of a sweet face, to be honest.
Okay.
Right?
See, for me, every guy that has like dark hair is going to be like a Henry Cavill, however you say it.
Exactly. I know. I'm
Or
trying to think about not him.
or
different.
who's my other one that I love, has dark hair and the blue eyes? He's getting a little old though. He was in 27 Dresses and The Notebook, but he's the guy that she doesn't pick. No, not Chris Pine.
no, Gosling? Brian?
No, the
No,
guy
no,
she
it's-
doesn't pick.
Oh, I know who he is, but I can't think of his name. Oh, it's the guy that she was going to marry. He was the military guy, remember? And she
Yes.
said no.
Yeah, but she
Remember?
doesn't
'Cause
pick him.
She's getting in
Hold
her
on.
wedding
I
dress,
can't
and she's
remember
I got
his
this. He's in like
name.
Sonic the
I
Hedgehog
remember
movie.
this part of
Hold
the
on.
movie. I just can't picture
Oh,
the
you
guy.
have to look at it. I can't think of his
Hold
name.
on. He's in Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm going to find this. What is his damn name?
I've seen
Chris
that movie
Pine.
and I'm still blanking on the name.
Hold on. Okay.
He's very
Oh, James
recognizable.
Marsden. James Marsden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or the guy from Once Upon a Time that played Hook. I always like see him
Killian-
as
Oh,
the
yeah.
pirate Killian. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Killian.
But I like your
Yeah.
Jacob Elordi. I like that too. I can see it.
Yeah, I can see that. I think yeah, and then for, you know, Domino, I like whoever who played Daenerys Targaryen or
Emilia Clarke.
Emilia Clarke. And then for like Prudence, I really saw her as like Jada Pinkett Smith or
I could see that.
she's such a badass. She's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. So strong. So
Yeah. She's edgy.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's magnificent.
Still, one of my favorites still is Domino. She still is my.
Yeah.
I can't
And
wait for
good old
Chelsea to meet
Teach.
her. Oh,
Yeah.
Teach. He has
Oh,
my heart.
Teach.
Yeah.
He has my heart, and I can't reveal anything until we
I
talk later.
know.
But
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm ruining it for all of you, but then we're
No.
trying to get new fan base too. So
No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
fine.
well,
yeah.
that's why
It's
we
fun.
have to do. We'll do an episode where we can deep dive into all of this kind of
Yes.
stuff. But I love
but it's
him.
driving
I
me
love Holly.
crazy.
He's so wonderful. Yeah, actually we can talk about him in sort of like a more abstract sense. So the history of Blackbeard, right, for those who aren't, you know, super into early North American history, who could blame you if you weren't? It's Edward Teach, also known as Edward Thatch, is the original Blackbeard. So Edward Teach is a character in this book. He's actually a first mate to Anne, our FMC, and just a incredible friend, and always is at her side. And whenever they are on land, he's faking being the captain, and she is trying to be like unrecognizable or like his lady wife, so that, you know, she doesn't get found out. And so that dynamic between the two of them, and then also him and the crew, is really cool, because the rest of the crew is like, you know, to pilot this huge ship, you actually you require like 100+ people, but there's this section up top of the ship, and then there's the main. And so as she is captain and she has her first mates, and then she has the people who are sort of her inner circle, that whole actually in historical records, they talk about Blackbeard having an inner circle, and they talk about how he freed slaves and then allowed them to stay on the boat and like earn money, and they split the whatever they stole 50-50. So that was one of the ways that people who were slaves could be quote unquote free, is by being a pirate. And so there's people of color on the ship, but you know, Blackbeard and the inner circle are like up top, and then there's this like amorphous mass of like quote unquote sailor pirates who are down there like doing stuff and like having fights or whatever, which we don't know much about any of them. But then Teach and the rest of the group are like up there with Anne, piloting the ship at the helm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just made,
so there's a lot of historical
I was
facts
gonna say,
in
you
there.
just made early North American history sound really freaking cool. So
Yep.
Well,
Absolutely.
It so is. And if you saw like Pirates of the Caribbean, they actually incorporated a lot of facts about Blackbeard into that movie. So for instance, like Blackbeard, they did put cutlery into the cannons and fire them at people, and tried to kill the people but not harm the ship, because they would steal the ships.
Yeah.
Right. So you actually don't want to fire a bunch of cannonballs along the waterline and sink a ship if you're planning to steal said ship, right, and add it to your fleet. You just want to get rid of the people on board. So if they're not going to join your merry crew, they can swim, right? They can die or swim.
Yeah.
And usually if you swim, you die. So, you know, the choices are not great, which is a thing we also see in the book. So in the end of the book, I really recommend reading the author notes, because it has like a lot of historical research and then how that maps to the characters, because I tried to keep a lot of like real facts about Blackbeard's life and death accurate.
That's really cool. And the fact that you have that, it actually reminds me of, since you're talking about how you're reading Plated Prisoner, Raven Kennedy will do like this Fun Fact Friday. And she'll put on there, like, don't read this if you haven't gotten to this book yet or whatever. But she gives some of that lore and the background into where she came up with a lot of the series. And so I really enjoyed that. So I love authors who give us a little bit more insight or that background.
I'm actually like currently reading all of these manuscripts and like old scans from libraries of the Salem witch trials, and
girl, you're putting in the work.
I've like been emailing with a professor who teaches about the American Revolution and the Salem witch trials. So,
and you said you went to college in Massachusetts.
I did.
Have you ever been to Salem?
No.
No. Oh my
I haven't.
That's really cool.
I need to go really desperately. And I need to go before this book is published, just because they have a library there and stuff. Yeah, for sure.
And before you leave the States, you got to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I've gone to Sleepy Hollow. That's my only like spook place in America that I've gone to, is Sleepy Hollow, which is not nearly as spooky as one would expect. Yeah.
Sleepy Hollow, is that in New York?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, because the fog, when you're like in New England and up in those areas in the fall and stuff, and the way the fog is, it has such a creepy vibe. I'm originally from Pennsylvania, so
Creepy
it
vibe,
has that vibe. Because I'm down in Kentucky now, the fog is different. The falls are different. It's not the same feel.
No,
as
it's
you
not
get
the
from up
same.
there. It is not. And you said then you were originally from Oregon, correct?
I graduated high school in Oregon, and I'm from North Carolina originally, thus the terrifying Southern accent.
I have been to Oregon because my ex-husband was from Oregon. He was from the North Bend, Coos Bay area is where he was from.
That's a nice area, actually.
It is beautiful. My favorite.
Beautiful.
My favorite place out there, even though he was a miserable person to ever travel with or go anywhere with. I did go to
or be with, maybe.
That's why he's an ex-husband. And now he is no longer with us. He is a ghost. But that's just because of that was his own doing of his life. But
Rebecca did not bury a body. There was nothing like that.
No, that happened 9 years after I divorced him. But there's a place out there. It's called Shore Acres, and it is so beautiful. Have you ever been there? It's a botanical garden. I think it's south of Coos Bay. I can't remember anymore, but it's right there. And then it's right on the ocean, and they do over 1 million Christmas lights. And if you walk out to the edge, you can see the big, you know, how like the plates of the earth are sticking up out of the ground right there at the ocean. And it is absolutely one of the most beautiful places I've been. That was where, in Oregon is where I put my feet in the Pacific Ocean. Because I've had my feet in the Pacific and I've had them in the Atlantic, and that was in Virginia Beach. Those are the two places. That's the only time
Well,
I've
I
been to the ocean.
definitely was thinking of the Oregon coast when I was writing Celestia, right? Because it's rocky, it's cold, it's misty. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a fog all on its own there too. Because my mother-in-law's place was in Myrtle Beach, or not Myrtle Beach, Myrtle. It was something Myrtle. I can't remember what it was called. It's something Myrtle, and and I remember the fog was so thick, like,
It is.
and you would open the door, you could not see it. You could cut it with a knife, and I'd never seen fog like that before in my life.
Yeah.
It's very different than here, or even like what I would get in Pennsylvania kind of stuff. But it was a very beautiful area.
It is a beautiful area.
But thank you, though, for being an open book with us today.
For sure.
We are so excited for your move and for your future releases. And
Thank you.
we do want you to come back. We'll do a deep dive on this. And then we would love you to come another time to talk about your upcoming witchy book as well.
Great. Okay. Yeah, when we get a little closer. Right now, it's like still not written. So I'm like,
Yeah.
it is also a fog.
We're wafting through it.
Yeah.
And then where
All
can people find your Instagram, and where can people find your books?
Yeah. So Rhiannon Hargadon on Instagram, and then my books, it depends. They're available Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Waterstones UK. But if you want special editions, you can buy them at rhiannonhargadon.com.
Hell yeah.
Those are really cool looking too.
Yeah.
So
They come with a pirate flag.
Nice.
I have to get one of those.
All
Well,
right.
for all of our listeners, we are currently chasing 100 subscribers on YouTube. And we are also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are. So come follow us, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and check out our potion recipes on our Instagram.
Yes, hit the subscribe button. Every subscription helps us bring on more incredible authors like Rhiannon. As always, stay spicy. Keep those TBRs dangerously high.
Yes.
All right.
Babe.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.